coolersonsale.com here for a wheeled cooler review. It's been a long time since we reviewed a cooler with wheels, and today we have the Siberian 75. This is part of their Sojourner line, and as you can see, built-in all-terrain, never flat wheels, as well as a powder-coated and padded handle, which is very nice because this cooler is very heavy when it is loaded to capacity. Empty, this cooler weighs 38 pounds. We just finished an ice test on this and filled this to capacity with ice. I believe it took 2.5 5-gallon buckets of ice. And once the ice melted, the ice melt filled up the cooler about 50% of the way, which you're seeing right now. Just for giggles, I put it on the scale, and with 50% water, as well as the weight of the cooler, you're looking at 112 pounds. So having the wheels on this size cooler, certainly nice to have. Now, getting it in and out of a truck bed or on and off of a boat may be a different story, probably a two-person job. But once it's on the ground, very easy to wheel with one person. One test that I did run many years ago, so I decided to go ahead and do it with this cooler as well, is because we had so much liquid in the cooler from all the ice melt, I shook it back and forth just to see if it is watertight. Super applicable if you have a ton of liquid in this in the back of an SUV, for example, and it did leak, right? Of course, I was shaking it fairly violently to see if there was any sloshing through the sides of the cooler, and you do get a little bit of water sloshing out the side of it. So keep that in mind if you put this in the back of an SUV. Now, the likelihood that you're going to have that much liquid in there is probably slim to none. Nonetheless, just something that I like to call out. When we take a look on the inside of this cooler, you can see out of the box, the Siberian 75 Sojourner comes with a wire basket, right? So you can keep all of your dry goods out of that liquid, which is very nice, as well as a divider that doubles as a cutting board and multiple different areas that you can place this. So if you want to section it off 50-50 or just 1/3, you can move this cutting board or divider in multiple different locations. As you can see in my hand here, we also have a cup holder that just goes into the side latch, so you can actually close this thing down and this isn't going anywhere. Last but not least is a part that I don't think people fully understand because several coolers have something similar to this, but out of the box, Siberian's giving this to you. And really what this is a locking mechanism for your cooler so that you can lock this to the bed of your truck so no one's going to walk off with your cooler, yet you can still access the cooler. So the way this works is drops down in here. You can still open and close the cooler, obviously, and then this would be tied to the bed of your truck through a cable or a padlock with a chain, however you're going to chain that up, or if you're going to chain it to a tree, if you're camping, or whatever the case might be, is you can still access your cooler, but yet no one's going to walk off. And Siberian has added in built-in bottle opener. You do have a built-in bottle opener on the actual cooler as well, which is nice, but you're getting two with the drop-in locking bracket. Last but not least, on this side, you do have a pressure relief valve as well as the drain plug. Pressure relief valve, sometimes when you close these, a suction occurs on the cooler so you can release that pressure and open this. We ran into this quite a bit traveling when you're going up and down in different elevations. Sometimes you get the lid that sucks closed. So nice to have a pressure relief valve. But at the end of the day, everyone wants to know, how well does it hold ice? Siberian advertises 8.5 days of ice retention. We just finished testing this. As I mentioned, we tested it in the exact same method that we test all of our coolers. We filled the cooler to capacity, roughly 2.5 5-gallon buckets of ice that it took. Let it pre-chill for 24 hours, then topped it back up with ice, added a couple beverages so that you guys can see the progression of ice melt at home. We open the cooler 3 times a day. They've been sitting outside in the Florida heat through the duration of the test. In fact, this is my 3rd time trying to record this video because my phone shut off because it is so hot. I've recorded temperatures as high as 116, 117 degrees on the surface of this cooler. I am probably glowing because it is literally baking out here, so you get the point. We went 7 full days when filled to capacity with ice, and then obviously sitting out in the Florida heat through the duration of the test. So yes, I fully understand that people are not going to fill their cooler to capacity with ice, but most people are not going to also leave their cooler out in the baking sun. You would leave it in the shade, in the back of a truck, under a tonneau cover, try to get it out of the direct heat because it just bakes the cooler. Obviously, having said that, still can go 7 days. So I think you can get 8.5 days if you take care of the cooler, right? Overall, solid performance for a cooler of this size. Again, cannot reiterate the usefulness of those wheels on a 112-pound cooler when it's filled to capacity. And these are not the little rollerblade wheels. They are the never flat all-terrain wheels. So handled the gravel, handled the concrete without an issue. I hope this review has been helpful, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. It's what helps us to keep going. And we'll be back next time with another video review.